My adoptive parents hid my real inheritance from me for 25 years. Last week, I bought the company they worked for and fired them both. I was 3 days old when Margaret and Robert Lawson brought me home. They couldn't have children, and I was supposed to be their miracle. That's what they told me anyway. The truth came out when I was 12. Margaret was pregnant. Her miracle had finally arrived. Naturally, biologically, perfectly theirs. Suddenly, I went from being their beloved son to an inconvenient reminder of what they'd settled for. My little brother, Connor, became the sun. I became the shadow. Connor got new clothes. I got his hand-me-downs. Connor got a car at 16. I got a bus pass. Connor's college tuition was paid in full. I took out loans and worked nights to cover the rest. But here's what they didn't know. My biological grandmother had set up a trust for me before she died. Real money. Life-changing money. My adoptive parents were supposed to manage it until I turned 25. They managed it, all right. They managed it right into Connor's bank account. I discovered this by accident. A misdirected letter from an attorney arrived at my apartment, asking why I hadn't responded to their previous correspondence about the trust's dissolution. I made some calls. The truth unraveled quickly. Grandma Esther had left me $700,000. Enough for a house, a business, a future without debt. My parents had accessed it when I turned 18, using forged signatures, and spent it all on Connor. Private school, a luxury apartment, his failed startup, his wedding. 25 years of lies, and they never once thought I'd find out. I didn't confront them. Not yet. Instead, I built something on my own. I'd learned to survive without help, and that skill became my superpower. I started a logistics company from my studio apartment, worked 18-hour days, built it into something real. 10 years later, my company was worth $40 million. We acquired smaller competitors, expanded across 3 states, became a powerhouse in the industry. Last month, we acquired Lawson Manufacturing, Margaret and Robert's company, the one they'd built with my stolen inheritance, the one where they both still worked because Connor had drained their savings. The acquisition meeting was scheduled for yesterday. They didn't know who owned the parent company. They walked into the conference room expecting to negotiate with strangers. I was waiting at the head of the table. Robert stopped cold. Margaret's face went white. "Hello," I said. "Please, sit down." Robert found his voice first. "What is this? What are you doing here?" "I own the company that just bought yours." "Well, technically, my holding company does. But yes, I sign the checks now." Margaret started crying. Always her first move. "We raised you. We gave you everything. You gave me nothing. You took everything. Grandma's money, my trust, my chance at a debt-free start. You stole it and handed it to Connor while I worked double shifts to pay for community college." Robert's face reddened. "That money was for family. Connor needed it more. Connor needed it more. Right. The golden child who still calls you for grocery money at 35. I slid papers across the table. "Here's the severance package. It's generous, considering I could sue you for fraud and probably win. You have 60 days to vacate your positions. Company policy, you understand." "You're firing us?" Margaret whispered. "I'm restructuring. Your positions have been eliminated. HR will help you collect your personal effects." Robert stood up, fists clenched. "After everything we did for you, you did nothing for me. You tolerated me until your real son arrived. Then you spent 25 years proving I was never family. Congratulations. You were right." They left in silence. I watched them walk to their car, aged 20 years and 20 minutes. Connor called an hour later, screaming about karma and cruelty. I let him finish, then said, "Ask your parents about Grandma's money. Ask them where my $700,000 went. Then tell me who's cruel." He hung up. I haven't heard back. This morning, I visited Grandma Esther's grave. I brought flowers and a copy of the acquisition announcement.